Very good afternoon. Very good afternoon, everybody. Yes. So today is the third day of our this last presentation season. Semester 4 students are making presentations on research methodology today. And today we have in this slot we will have presentations by Khushbu, Jignesh, Hiral, Daya, Chandani, Bhumika, Bhavyang, Anjali, and Aditi. And the topics on which you are going to speak are what is research and types of research, what is plagiarism and forms of plagiarism, documentation, citing sources in the text, what is the importance of mechanics in writing, plagiarism and academic integrity, differences between academic and non-academic writing, plagiarism in detail, how to avoid plagiarism on your blog and website, and basic steps for research. So these are the topics on which you all are going to make presentations today. So first, let us start with Khushbu's presentation. Yes, Khushbu, you can start now.
Good afternoon, respected sir and my dear friends.
Yes, now you can start.
So the full screen is visible. Okay, so first of all, let's see what is research. Research is something very systematic and scientific and critical investigation. It aims at the discovery of new facts and their correct information. It is also the revision of accepted laws or theories in the light of discovery of new facts. It can be practical application of new or revised conclusions, theories, or laws. Then what research is not. In order to understand what something is, we should also understand that what it is not. So it is not a mere gathering of facts or information or any theories or whatever we have seen from other people. It is something our own discovery after taking various observations and from various literature review that we take. And after all the observations, what we add something new and fill up some of the gaps. That is research. Then these are the six important questions in writing a proposal: that what, why, who, where, when, and how. What? What are you going to do in your research? The subject of your research, broad area within the subject, specific area of investigation, like which area we are going to take, whether it is gender studies, post-colonialism, feminism, and such type of areas. Then it should be, and it is many times text-centered that we take some novels and books. It is author-centered, idea-based, or area-based. Then why do we do research? If we are interested in it and passionate about it, something that is totally unexplored by any other researchers. So it is our wish to enhance our employability opportunities, and there are many reasons for doing the research, like bringing your credentials and finding your research to visibility, and many things. Then who can do the research? UG and master students can do research type of work in their assignments and projects, dissertations, presentations, like we have done in our. Then research scholars and PhD scholars can do, faculty members and independent scholars. Then where can the research be practiced? In colleges, universities, research institutes, and private organizations and NGOs. When can we do research? Like there is no particular age for pursuing research. It can be done at UG, PG, and doctoral levels, and at any time in life. There is no fixed time. How research is an activity or skill-based process. There are some basic skills like we need to have digital skills, computer skills, then data collection, and many such skills are needed for this process. One needs to be equipped with skills to perform the activity in a better way. Research methods are the tools and techniques for doing research. Research terminology. There are too many terms, research methods, which are concerned with how you carry out your research, and methodologies are concerned with the perspective you bring to bear on your work, such as feminist or post-colonist one. The distinction between research skills, methods, and methodologies is useful for understanding different aspects of the research process. There are many research methods, like some of them are oral, archival methods, autobiography research, oral history, visual methodologies. Like visual methodologies includes film and television and research on that type of basis. Then we have discourse analysis, ethnographic methods. In that we can do research on the folklores and songs which are not documented anywhere in the written form or a printed form, so that can we can record using video and audio things. Then quantitative methods for scholars of text, textual analysis as a research method, interviewing, creative writing, English research methods, and digital humanities. Then these are some of the research terms, like abstract. What is abstract? It is the summary of the work that abstract is used in research paper. It is summary of work and usually appears at the beginning of a scholarly or technical article. And databases and indexes often contain abstracts that can help you to decide whether an article is relevant for your purposes. Then annotate by bibliography. In this, it is the list of citations that we have gone through. It is the give publication information and short description annotation for each and every source. Each annotation is generally 3 to 7 sentences long, and in some bibliographies, the annotation merely describes the content and the scope of the source. In others, also. Then what is anthology? It is a collection of writings compiled into a book. The selection in anthologies is usually connected by a common topic, time period, or group of authors. Like we have find many anthologies that includes poems or short stories, and the name are given as collection of poems or short stories. Then what is archives? It is the collection of documents and artifacts, usually unpublished, that constitutes the organized historical record of an organization or of an individual's life. Then bibliography, we all know, it is the list of sources usually appearing at the end of a research paper, article, or a book or a chapter in a book. Then catalog. It is like catalog is also observed now many in restaurants that tells each and every item. It can be observed in library also, that which are the list of the books available in particular library, and it can be available in digital form also. Like we have the catalog of our central library in MKBU website, and in that we can find the list of all the books which are available in the central library. Then citation. It is the reference to a book, article, web page, or citations that we give, and there are many styles like APA, Chicago, MLS style, and other styles available. Databases is like a platform, like a JSTOR or any search academia edu. They publish, they collect all the things together, and best example is of JSTOR. It is the collection of information organized for retrieval. In libraries, databases usually contain references to sources retrievable by a variety of means. It may contain bibliography, citations, descriptive abstracts, full text documents, or a combination. Then literature review. What we all have done literature review in our dissertation also. It is a quick overview of leading scholarship in that area. Then plagiarism. It is plagiarism we should avoid, and main that reasons are that failing to cite the quotations or borrowed ideas, failing to enclose borrowed language in quotation marks, and failing to put summaries or paraphrases in your own words, submitting someone else's work as your own. And then primary source. Normally original texts, novels, and such are speech, diary, novel, and such things are included in the primary source. Then we have qualitative research. It is used to explore and understand people's beliefs, experiences, attitudes, or behavior. It asks questions about how and why. That what type of the research that you have done. Is it qualitative or it is of low quality? Then we have quantitative research. It is based on interviews and surveys that one does, and it includes also ELT type of research. In that how much observations we have taken, and what is the quantity of the things that we have collected. Then we have questionnaire. Questionnaire is something that we have to prepare before doing any kind of research. Like it is prepared, and we have to form certain questions and to obtain the information that we are going to find in our research. And the questionnaires can be compared on paper using computer or with an interviewer. And primary research, it is the study of subject through first-hand investigation, such as analyzing a literary or historical text, a film, or a performance, conducting a survey or an interview. Secondary research, it is the examination of studies that other researchers have made on a subject, like when we study research papers and theses and the ideas that other have given in their conclusions. And on the basis of them, we give our own conclusions. Then we have research problem. A research problem is the statement about a problematic situation that identifies the issues that you are trying to address in our papers or in our dissertations. Then hypothesis. Hypothesis is a tentative answer to a research problem that is advanced so that it can be tested. Thesis statement. The thesis statement is your answer to the central question or problem that we have raised in our question. Summary, we all know. Then paraphrase is we have to we have to include main ideas and details in a very short passage, and we have to write the author's points in our own words. And this is like very difficult to do, because when we write something in our own words, we have to be careful that we don't change the idea what the original author is trying to say. If we change the concept, then it is not the correct thing. Then quotations. Quotations we have to copy exactly as they are given in the text. Like yesterday, I made a mistake in copying of the quotation in the slide. So with the way they are written in the original novel or in the book, that same way we have to write the quotations. And these are my citations. And dissertation experience, if I say, then it is not an easy job, not an easy cup of tea. It is very difficult. I have found myself in spite of doing many other things, we have to manage the time. Sometimes we sometimes waste time, but and we forget our own duties. But that is not the correct way to do. Then we have to many other tasks were also, my blogs and everything was pending, so I was doing all the blogs and all that. So I was not able to give complete time to my dissertation, and it is not yet complete. Thank you.
Okay, so we take the next presentation now. Today we are not taking the questions here, and it is good to see that you have connected with your experience also. So try to see that whatever you speak theoretically, you connect with the experience also.
Shall I start? So first, let me share my screen. So here you can see my presentation. So hello friends. Today we are going to discuss about how to avoid plagiarism on your blog or website. First, let me think about what is plagiarism. As we all know that plagiarism means it has a short definition of it, like a CCP means cut, copy, and paste. Without we can without giving any credit. It's like cheating and taking someone else's hard work to claim it's it as your own. So plagiarism means we can take something from someone's content without giving any citation and any other things. So here is a definition of what is the plagiarism: an act or instant of using or closely limitation in the language and thoughts of another author without authorization, and the representation of that author's work as one's own. So here is types of plagiarism: complete plagiarism, partial plagiarism, and plagiarism. But what is not considered as a plagiarism? On the other hand, the charge of plagiarism does not apply when you cite information that is common knowledge, generic and widely available. If you read a piece of in a several source, or if it is something your readers are probably already aware of, there is no need to reveal the source of your knowledge. So here is the our topic, that how to avoid plagiarism in your content. So first one is, so how can we keep ourselves from copying someone else in order to protect their equity and our own reputation. Here are a few tips that should help keep you on the right side of a content reaction. So take your time. And plagiarism often happens with a looming deadline, and when you need to get the next bits out of the door quickly. Therefore, the first step is to plan enough time for the writing process. Make sure you have buffer to edit, and double check your content so that you don't keep anything in there that you didn't write yourself. Here is a content creation process that might help. And keep track of sources. If you use information from someone else, note it down. Better yet, create a link to them while writing, including the link in your draft. That way, you stay aware of what is your own scribblings and what is the writing of the other people. And third one, read more than one source. The danger of plagiarism also looms when you limit yourself in your research. If you base all or ideas on another piece of content, you easily run the danger of adhering to its structure, phrasing, and other identifiable characteristics. So read broad and learn as much as you can. So we have one laziness, that we have to present something. At that time, we always choose any blog, and one blog through we can make our presentation. So we have to avoid that things. We have to think about some authentic source. And here is a quote: if you simply want to leave the text verbatim from your resource materials, you can block out the text on your blog post and place a link back to the site or online resource you got it from. And here is the attribute. The sum goes if you plan or including a original idea point from another source, even if you express it in over words. Be so kind should that think this doesn't not only free you from the charge of plagiarism, but it's also a good idea in term. So as we know that when we do the plagiarism, at that time we cannot give any ki- uh, we cannot give any kind of we cannot give any kind of things there. We can easily find some source from to put in our writing. And last one is paraphrase. If you are spreading information that does not need to be attributed to anyone, it's a common knowledge. Make sure your paraphrase and rewrite it. Keeping the same language and phrasing will only get you punished for duplicate content. And remember, so here is my conclusion, that it seems a plagiarism is an inherent part of the internet. With millions of blog posts published every day, there is a bound to be some overlap in information. However, that is no excuse not to be vigilant in your own effort to avoid placing other people's work of as your own. So by being consistent in your writing efforts, keeping track of your information sources, and providing links, you not only safeguard yourself against charge of stealing, but also insert yourself into the broader of conversation. So these are my work citation, and for the experience of my dissertation writing, uh, when I was trying to choose any topic of my dissertation. At that time, I was very nervous that what kind of topic I had to choose for my dissertation. And when under guidance by our uh, our Asia madam and also Dilip sir has told to me that you have to go to you have to go for uh, that department. There are so many research on prostitution. So after I have selected, I have to go for that topic. And for the plagiarism, there are so many sources, but we are worried about that. How can we cite because as we know that still we are facing problems for citation, and it is a difficult task to cite. I have done my whole citation, uh, there are so many incorrectness. So again, I have to do my whole citation. So it's take too much time. I think again I have to waste my 5 and 6 or for my citation. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so next one now.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Hiral Kashyap, and today I'm going to give my view on plagiarism. Is my screen visible? Yes. Is it now visible? Okay. Okay, sir. Can I start?
Yes.
Okay, so today we will have complete view on plagiarism. So first of all, what is plagiarism? So on accordance of and the definition from Oxford Language, plagiarism means the practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them on of your own. And plagiarism is when someone uses another author's words, thoughts, idea, and expression as their own. Plagiarism is defined differently in educational setting, depending on institution. Plagiarism is regarded as a breach of academic integrity as well as journalistic ethics. Plagiarism is unethical practice of using words or idea or another author researcher as your own previous work without proper knowing acknowledgement. So, these are types of plagiarism: complete plagiarism, paraphrasing plagiarism, direct plagiarism, self plagiarism, ritual plagiarism, accidental plagiarism, source based plagiarism, Intentional plagiarism. So, first of all, patchwork plagiarism. So, with this sort of plagiarism, crafted by another person is essentially rewarded without appropriate reference, and it's regularly challenging to identify on the ground that the counterfeit material and interviewed with various sources, including the essayist's own thoughts and viewpoint. Paraphrasing plagiarism. Paraphrasing or incremental plagiarism is the most common type of plagiarism. It's similar to the mosaic plagiarism style mentioned above. However, the difference is that the topic work is not mixed with the new concept and research. When you paraphrase the original idea of your own words, the borrowed material stays the same throughout the new piece. Complete plagiarism. Complete plagiarism seems more common in academic writing than in content marketing or other type of online writing. This type of plagiarism occurs when someone tries to submit an entire research paper as their own without proper attribution. Self-plagiarism, also known as auto-plagiarism. Self-plagiarism happens when you copy your own writing, whether international or not. Often the person in self-plagiarism incident is summarizing or repurposing their own work instead of writing a whole new piece of scratch on the same topic. Many people think self plagiarism is harmless because you aren't stealing from someone else, just yourself, but this type of plagiarism can be just as damaging as any other. Accidental plagiarism. Plagiarism does not always happen on purpose. It's still considered plagiarism when someone copies another writing without citing their source improperly, cites the source, or leave out a quotation mark on accident. Just because it is incorrect citation was accidental doesn't mean plagiarism hasn't been committed. Source-based plagiarism. So, this type of plagiarism refers to instance when misleading sources are involved. For example, the writer may have two sources of information but only reference one. Another source-based plagiarism would be when the author quotes a non-existence of incorrect source. The worst type of this kind of plagiarism is when sources are fabricated. Making up information like study finding or statistic is extremely misleading and can even be harmful in this case of medical content. Direct or direct plagiarism. Direct plagiarism is also known as a verbatim or copy paste plagiarism. It is an intentional and unethical form of stealing content. And as the name suggests, the writing is stolen word for word and pasted into the new piece. The author then tries to pass off the content as their own. A word of two might be changed. But this type of plagiarism is also considered as a paraphrasing. Intentional plagiarism is when someone knowingly appropriate the work of others and pass it off their own. Purchasing a pre-written paper by email, online, or in person, letting someone else write part of all paper for you, turning someone else's unpublished work as your own. So, how to avoid plagiarism? So these are some points. Paraphrase your content, use quotation, cite your sources, identify what does and does not needed to be cited, maintain records of the source you refer to, and you use plagiarism checkers. Try not to duplicate glue the text word to word from the reference paper. All things being equal, repeat the thought as would be nature for you. Comprehend the ideas of reference source will paraphrase accurately. Use quotation to show that text has been taken from another paper. The quotes out to be by large the manner in which they show up to the paper you take them from. The best way to avoid plagiarism is by self-checking your documents using plagiarism checker tools. Any words or idea that are not your own but taken from another person need to be cited. Maintain records of the sources you allude to. Use citation programming like EndNote or Reference Manager to deal with the citation utilized for the paper. Utilize a numerous reference for the foundation data writing study and for intents rather than referring to survey. The singular paper out to be allude to the refer to. You can use various plagiarism detection tools such as a paper rater or see how much your paper is plagiarized. Keeping track of the sources you consult in your paper, paraphrasing or quoting from your sources, crediting the original author in text citation and your reference list, using the plagiarism checker before you submit. So, strategies to avoid plagiarism. So, in this article, Dr. Mohammad Karim Baduri and Isadi M gave some tips as to avoid plagiarism. Those are Read the instruction of authors provided by journal. Always acknowledge the contribute of author and the source of idea and words, regardless of whether paraphrasing or summarized. Use verbatim text material must be enclosed in quotation marks. Acknowledge source used in the writing. When paraphrasing, understand the material completely and use your own word. When in doubt about whether or not the concept or fact is common knowledge, reference it. Make sure to reference and cite reference accurately. And consequences of plagiarism. So there are some consequences that destroy students' reputation, destroyed professional reputation, destroyed academic reputation, legal action, and monetary loss. So um, there are numerous consequences of plagiarism, and all are extreme, with the possibility to have support and negative effect on the academic and vocational fate of the understudy who has been seen as a real fault for submitting it. What is frequently disregard is the consequences of plagiarism stretch out the long ways to past the singular understudy who has been discovered cheating in their article or potentially report accommodation. Plagiarism Plagiarism allegation can cause a student to be suspended or expel their academic record, can reflect the ethics offense, possibly causing the student to be barred from entering college from high school or another college. Schools, college, and universities to take plagiarism very seriously. Most education institutes have academic integrity committees who police student. Many schools suspend students for their first uh, violations, students are usually expelled for further offenses. The legal the legal actions are of plagiarism can be quite serious. Copyright laws are absolute. One cannot use other person's material without citation and reference. An author has the right to show plagiarist. Some plagiarism may also deem a criminal offense, possibly leading a personal sentence. Those who write or living, such as a journalist or authors, are particularly suscep- suspendable a plagiarism issue. Those who write frequently must be vigilant not to err. And writers are well aware of copyright laws and ways to avoid plagiarism. As professional writer, to plagiarize is the serious ethical and perhaps legal issue. Many recent news reports and articles have exposed plagiarism by journalists, authors, public figure, and researcher. In the case when author sues a plagiarist, the author may be granted monetary restitution. In the case where a journalist work or magazine, newspaper, or other publisher or even student is found plagiarizing in school, the offending plagiarist could have to pay monetary penalties. Does size matter on only originality? So here, Helgerson and Stephen Erickson says that mentioned that plagiarism can be more or less extensive, ranging from whole chapters of book, entire academic papers to short passages. In there, a lower limit of what countries plagiarism. Uh, if so, when does it cease to be a plagiarism? It is fall short of certain number of copied words in line or on certain percentages of overlapping text in essay, or does it depend on something else such as the quantity in of that is reused without notification? So using ordinary words like and, it, or, are can never as such constitute plagiarism, nor can the use of series of words, sentence, which are so ordinary that they cannot meaningfully be ascribed to any one example. Examples like he saw me, open the door, I am tired, and need some sleep. Due to their commonness, they belong to a common pool of expression and sentences to which no one has intellectual claim. If a number of people independently have created the same expression, this expression fact lose their exclusivity. We guaranteed that the plagiarism can comprise in the one word, while there is a numerous standard sentences depositing research strategies that won't be plagiarism regarding the whether truth to be told duplicated from another person. So, conclusion is that plagiarism is from cheating in the classroom. All members of the academic community should acknowledge their debt to the creators of ideas, words, and fact that form of foundation for their own work as a principle of intellectual honesty. Not only it is the poor scholarship to pass of someone else's work as your own, but it is also indicate that you have not completed the learning process. Is plagiarism is immoral and can have major infection for your future career. It also jeopardize your intuition standard and the degree it grants. So here are some photos of plagiarism, like how copying can be caught. Here are the one meme when someone is messaging that I copied my project from Wikipedia to protect from plagiarism. I then deleted the section from Wikipedia. Use your own words. Don't just copy from the textbook. Book that is written that he died in 1987, and person rephrase it and wrote 1987 was when he died. And here are some other memes of plagiarism, and here is the poster of Ghajini. So I want you to know that trailer of Amir Khan's Ghajini was accused of having glaring similarities with Christopher Nolan's neon noir thriller Memento, and other than that, the makers of Ghajini were also accused of lifting the poster art from the film Incredible Hulk. Here are my references, and I want to share my experience that. Here as the learning outcome, I really was unaware of plagiarism, and semester 1 and 2 I have copy pasted a lot of things, and now I am worrying that uh, that I do not want to be caught as a plagiarism, and I want to re-edit them. I have learned that I am able to take guidance from other work and research, but I can paraphrase that, add my thoughts in that, rewrite on my own, and then I'm supposed to give them a credit for their unknown guidance. And I was fearful from yesterday that I hope my presentation on unaware and unintentional plagiarism won't have plagiarism in it. So I tried to cite everything that was needed. When it was first day of semester 4, sir was giving us an introduction about plagiarism, and that was really horrible to hear me, because sir gave us every possible situation of getting caught or knowingly or unknowingly in plagiarism. But I have learned a lot of things, that avoiding a lot of things in dissertation to get rid of plagiarism. Thank you.
It is good that earlier, earlier people might be doing plagiarism in different capacities as a part of writing, thinking activities, another thing. But now, once we realize, we understand that all these academic activities are harmful in one or the another way. And that is good as a learning outcome, that whenever we realize, we tend to improve our way of doing things. But it was still very long. The other students, I would suggest you to make it short. Don't read everything. We have to complete it within 40 minutes. Yeah.
Yes.
And we have 6 presentations remaining still.
Shall I start, sir?
Yes, you can start.
Let me share my screen. Um, I hope my screen is visible now. Yes. Let me play it from here. Yes. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, DoE-MKBU, and today I am going to present about the difference between academic writing and non-academic writing. As we are studying research methodology, and in paper number 5, we are going to submit our dissertation to the university. So it is very important to know about what are the difference between the both academic and unacademic writing. So, first of all, what is the writing skill? It is very necessary to learn the writing skill. Writing skill are an important part of the communication, as we all know, which allows us to communicate with clarity and with the surety. By how academic writing is differ from other writing, we after coming in this department, I learned both academic writing as well as non-academic writing. Academic writing is a part of Vaidhi ma'am has done but with one activity with us as to write one research paper, and we also have submitted it as a part of blog thinking activity. So this is, and I also participated in that coursework by Mr. Clement, that coursework, the advanced academic writing, and from that I have also learned so many things that that differs from non-academic academic writing. And as sir is giving thinking activity and blogging, and we are doing Facebook post and Twitter, so all these are considered as non-academic writings. We all know that writing is a set of process. Without this process, we are not able to write in our own way. Academic and non-academic writing usually differ in format, in purpose, and also in tone. So, writing process. So, have you ever thought that writing is a process? Yes, writing is obviously one kind of process, and we writing is not an easy task as we thought, because through for academic writing we have to be very careful about the tone and their purpose and argument and all these things. Yeah. According to columns, people have been writing the thousands of years. Writing has become more important in research here. And despite the fact that millions of people are unable to write and read, the majority of communication takes place through writing rather than speaking. So writing is very important here. And Eunice and Harris is also both have argued that writing is very necessary for the students. Then what is academic writing? Academic writing is just like written for a communication which demands reading and serious thinking. Without thinking and reading, we are not able to do the best academic writing. Academic writing refers to a style of expression that researchers use to define the intellectual boundaries of their disciplines and specific near of existence. And Hartley, in his one of his work, talk about the characteristic of academic writing, and in that he says that there is a very need of word choice and language, which kind of language we are using, and the concept we are using for academic writing should be very clear to the readers. Despite the fact that writing as a language talent is often overlooked, especially when it comes to the natural order, question is validity. What are the importance of good academic writing? So we can consider these as a characteristic of good academic writing. So the tone is very important for the academic writing, because the argument should be appropriate for appropriate of the researchers, and it should be considered as the good writing. Then language should not be biased in our writing. Then and then we can consider our writing as academic, and we can differ it from the non-academic writing. Then academic conventions, it is very important for the uh, researchers. Cite academic conventions, and we have to cite everything that we have included in our writings. Then evidence based argument, then we need to support our opinions with the evidence of academic sources. Without academic sources, we are not able to give our argument properly. Then complexity and higher overthinking. So one of this is one of the main function of academic writing, and it describes complex idea as clearly as possible. So this include higher thinking and problem solving skills of the researcher. Then these are the example of academic writing. What we should include in this, that books and book report, translations, essays, research paper, conference paper, academic journals, dissertation, as we are doing now, thesis, abstract, all these are considered as academic writings. Now, what is non-academic writing? So it is only for non-academic writing is not proper. It is only for friends and family and for our pleasure, and it is just like conversation which never include serious thoughts and references as academic writing including. And in this writing, writer may include emotions, their emotions, feelings, and personal experiences also. So the most important thing is that in this non-academic writing, writer told his own story or his own experience. So it is not only based on the evidence or proof. Now these are the examples. We are doing blogging and Facebook post and personal journal writing, writing for newspaper. These all are considered as non-academic writing, and it is differ from academic writing. Most of non-academic writings do not include references, citation, and a list of sources. Moreover, non-academic writing often does not have a rigid structure as academic writing. It is often free-flowing and reflects the style and personality of the writer. Now, what are the difference between both the writing? Hilland identified the difference between both the writing by saying that academic writing is based on the goal and based on the argument, while non-academic writing is something that writer thinks himself or herself. These are the difference between academic and non-academic writing. In academic writing, readers are the academics, not only family and friends. And as we are now finding for the research paper and for dissertation and literature review and for the presentation, so it is considered as an academic source. Then content, in academic writing, content is very serious thought. It is not personal experiences or emotions, while in non-academic writing it is like conversation. And style is very complex in academic writing. Then organization of academic writing is very clear and well planned, and in opposite, uh, the non-academic writing is not organized in proper way. Vocabulary of academic writing is the accuracy of language and technique of languages, while non-academic writing use very short forms and idioms. So to conclude, we can say from this discussion of the presentation, we might conclude that scholarly interpretations are differ from the others, and ordinary people are unable to comprehend this unusual meaning, but academicians are capable to doing so. Academic portrayals of subject is unique and interesting to read. Non-academic writing only comprises informal conversation, whereas academic writing represents serious views. There are no specific standards and regulation for structure and grammar in non-academic languages. As a result, it is similar to everyday ordinary language that is only used in everyday life. So academic language should be well thought out, concise and straightforward. And these are my references. And about my experience, as I have mentioned in between the presentation, that both experience I have from these 2 years, academic as well as non-academics, because we are writing so many blogs, Facebook posts and other things. These are considered as non-academic writing. We are not following any structure in that, and for dissertation we have to follow the structure and the rules and regulations. Thank you, sir.
Okay, yes. So the next presenter now, and still I suggest you to be brief.
Yes.
We have completed 4 presentations and 5 are still remaining.
My screen is visible. Shall I start, sir? Hello everyone, I am Chandani Pandya from Maharaja Krishna Kumar Singhji Bhavnagar University. Today I am going to present about
Your text slide is not visible.
now.
Slideshow.
Yes, sir. I do. This one? This one? Okay, today I am going to presenting about the plagiarism and academic integrity. Uh, Table of content, definition of plagiarism, understanding the type of plagiarism, address would, why do student plagiarism, consequences of plagiarism, what is integrity, academic integrity affects, why is it important to ensure academic integrity in our work, and last conclusion. Definition of plagiarism, derived from the Latin word plagiarism. To plagiarize means to commit literary theft and to present as a new and original an idea or product derived from the unexistent source, passing off another person's idea, information, or expression as your own to get a better grade or gain some other advantages, constitute fraud. Wilson Misner says about plagiarism that if you steal from one author, if it's plagiarism. If you steal from many, it's a research. To steal or pass the ideas or words or another as one's own is a plagiarism. To use another's production without crediting the source is a plagiarism, and to commit literary theft, present as a new and original an idea or product derived from an existing source, is also plagiarism. Understanding the types of plagiarism, unintentional plagiarism and intentional plagiarism. Unintentional plagiarism is a plagiarism resulting from the disagreements for proper scholarly procedures, and intentional is a claiming sole authorship of a work that you know and have been largely written by someone else. And my experience is that in semester 1 or 2 I have copy in many sources in my blog, and sir also tell me that you are copy pasted, and I also told sir that I have I try my own writing, and also sir give us example of one scholar student of MPhil that she committed suicide for she can steal a source of plagiarism, and she feared that his MPhil degree is uh, going that's why she committed suicide. And address why do students plagiarize, lack of research skill, problem evaluating internet sources, poor organization skill, confusion about plagiarism and paraphrasing, poor time management skill, different cultural understanding of plagiarism, pressure to succeed, out to get a degree, not an education. Consequences of plagiarism: destroyed student reputation, destroyed professional reputation, destroyed academic reputation, legal repercussion, monetary repercussion, plagiarized research, and destroyed academic reputation. And what is integrity? Integrity, the core set of value and principles that underwrites the very mission of the university itself. Integrity, honesty, hard work, and the determination of translate person and professional principle into behavior. Academic integrity refers to the honest and ethical manner in which academic work is done, whether it is assignment and examination, an oral presentation, or a research project or report. It is a fundamental value that all students at BOILU are expected to uphold. And academic integrity is the pursuit of scholarly activity in an open, honest, and responsible manner. Payne State University. Academic integrity affects on reputation of university and college, reputation of school alumni, reputation of degree awarded, the quality of education given, and how employers view graduates. And why is it important to ensure academic integrity in our work? So doing honest work allows us to learn to think for ourselves and get the most out of our learning. We want to learn in a fair and honest environment at the university. It is not for to others. Is if a student gets a better grade for cheating, we need to respect and follow the code to practice in academia and the profession in which we are engaged. For example, if we use other people's ideas or words without acknowledging the source, we will infringe on their intentional property rights, and upholding integrity in our work enhance our credibility and reliable and honest member of the university and the community. Desirable quality employers seek after in employee. It also protect the reputation in our university and our fellow student. In conclusion, clearly, a process of learning might take some time. However, students need to learn and measuring proper academic writing. Academia institutions are fundamentals in the upskill students' competency as well as in an academic integrity establishment. Accurate terminology and firm penalties somehow are a factor of less plagiarism issues, while the consequences of plagiarism should be imparted among students and academics in order to achieve zero issues in academic misconducts. And here are my references. Thank you.
Okay, yes, next one.
Hello everyone. Today my topic is what is the importance of mechanics in writing. From the paper research methodology. Then the mechanics of writing are the rules that must be followed while preparing research paper, so that the research stretches and the format becomes systematic and consistent in all academic sectors. Now my screen is visible. Okay, today my topic is what is the importance of mechanics in writing. From the paper research methodology. Then mechanics of writing are the rules that must be followed while preparing research paper, so that the research strategies and the format becomes systematic and consistent in all academic sectors. If one does not follow, or if there are no such rules of writing, then the writing would be certainly very difficult. And the goal of the mechanics of writing is to make the writing precise and grammatically correct. It is directed to make the writing systematic and being concerned about how to be correct in spelling, punctuation, italics, and so on. And for the factors in mechanics of writing, that are spelling, punctuation, italics means underlining, names of persons, titles of works in the research paper, quotations, capitalization, and personal names. And uh, in mechanics of writing, spelling is the research work should be consistent, clean, and correct, expert in quotation. And punctuation for the It is for the purpose of punctuation is to bring clarity in writing and to make it comprehensible. And also punctuation clarifies sentence structure, separating some words or grouping others, and it adds a meaning to written words and guides for readers to understand as they move through sentences. And italics in research papers are manuscripts submitted for publication. Words that underline, and in general we should underline foreign words used in an English text. The names of the book in which a person is doing research is always italicized. And uh, in names of persons, generally a researcher should state a person's name in a text of his or her research paper fully, accurately, and exactly as it appears in the original source. And for the title of works in research paper, it is the title of the publication works in the research paper should be cited from the title page, not from the cover page. For capitalizing the title, one should capitalize the first word and the last words, the words and the principal words, the last words and the principal words in both titles and subtitles. Generally, title of the words must be underlined or italicized. The title of the names of books, pamphlets, periodicals, films, radio and television programs, uh, and in printed in the research paper. And quotation, only the most important words, phrases, lines, and passages should be quoted in research paper as briefly as possible. And in the for the researcher should put them with in quotation mark if they are 3 lines or less than 3 lines. And if a quotation runs to make then 4 lines, it should be put under in indent. And in capitalization and personal names, the chief reason to capitalize a word is that the word is proper, not because the word has a greater status than other words. And a proper noun identity is a specific member of a class. Then for the punctuation, there are not many subtopics are there, like apostrophes, colons, commas, dashes, exclamation marks, hyphens, italics, parentheses. Okay, sir. And also numerals are there uh, in in this also. Generally numbers that cannot be spelled out in one or two words may be written as numerals. And spelling is also play a vital role in this. And for the titles in the text there are quotation marks, and and for the quotation there are poetry, prose, ellipses, interpolations, punctuation, quotation. And for capitalizations there are two subtopics. It can be in English and French also. And for the names of persons, generally it the names should be in Dutch and German names, Italian names, Spanish names, and Oriental names. And for the concluding point, thus having strong skills in writing and grammar allows writers to get their message or story to their readers in a clear and understandable way. And it is important to know the rules of grammar and how to use them properly. Here is my references, and thank you very much all.
Shall I start, sir? Okay, I am ASARI and today's my topic is about documentation, citing source in the text. So first, I will start with the quote by Isaac Newton that if I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulder of the giant. So as we know that while doing research, we have to rely on the research paper, and we can not do research without referring them. And it's our first duty that we have to see that in our area all the works have done, and we have to see that what are the critics view, and if we agree with them, and so we have to counter argue, and if we don't agree, then also we have to counter argue with them. Then only our research will be qualitative. Then here we can see the sixth reason of importance of the citation, and documentation, citing source in the text. So we know that how citation is important. Without citation we can not complete our research paper. And here is an example that here it in the up it is done in text citation, and at the down it is the work citation. So here we can see the paraphrase reference indicate that the quotation comes from the page number 10, and here is the writer that who has written this work. And we can see the that if the name of the author, editor, translator, narrator is given, then when the list contain only one work by the author cited, you need to type the writer name and then the page number. And if there are and if the list of contain more than one author with the same last name, then you must have to uh, uh, give a incitation like this. And here are some of the example that if two or three names are given of the writer, then how to cite. Then we can see that page number are most important while doing citation. And if we are citing from the one material, then it is unnecessary to write a page number. Then here is the example that if you are citing an entire work for an example rather than a specific part of it, the author name in the text may be the only documentation required. And here is the example of the Booth, and that Booth has devoted an entire book to the subject. And then we can also write that Booth has devoted an entire book, the rhetoric of the fiction, to the subject. Then here is the one of the example that if we are giving the example of a critic, then first we have to write that according to the critic name, and then after completing that we have to tell that here is my point of view. So we have to start with I believe in addition that I want to say like this, and at the end we have to cite our work. Then we can see that two kind of notes are taken. One is content note, and second is bibliographical note. So content note, content note offering the reader comment, explain or information that the text cannot accommodate. And bibliographical note contain either several sources of evaluating comment on a sources. And we have to write a end note and a footnote. And here is the example of the end note, and that we have to note in a numerical citation we have to do. And here are the references. And in the conclusion I would like to tell that while doing dissertation, first our most important thing is to see that in which area we want to do our dissertation. And after deciding that, we have to look that is anyone has worked on that or not. And most important thing is about a citation. And while citation doing citation, if I am facing any problem, then I am asking to our seniors like Asha Didi, then Kavisha and Rohit. They always help me when I I'm having some problem that is there is a name of the doctor, then what to do, and if there are 3 to 4 authors, then how to do citation. So they always helped me, and Vedahi ma'am also helped in chapterization. Okay, thank you. And here is the references.
My screen is visible or not? Hello? Okay. Hello everyone, I am Anjali Trivedi from Maharaja Krishna Kumar CG Bhavnagar University, Department of English. Today's my topic is plagiarism and form of plagiarism. Okay. I'm not repeating the what is the plagiarism, and we all know that the what is the plagiarism, because my classmates or are discussed about plagiarism. So I'm not wasting the time. That here is a table of content. The what is the plagiarism? According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the define the plagiarism is that the first the theft and use of the other people idea or words as your, use the source without attribution, literary thefts, and the presenting some ideas as own and it's new and new while this idea already exists in other sources. Here the types of plagiarism. I'm not repeating this because the plagiarism, all know that the part of the cheating for your work better. Okay, forms of plagiarism. I'm today discussing about the forms of plagiarism. The clone, control C, retweets, error 404, aggregator, mashup, find and replace, remix, and the recycle. Here I'm mistaking the recycle and hybrid. The first we start with the aggregator. The aggregator include the proper citation of sources but contains almost nothing of their own works. And control C, the control C is contains most of text from a single source without alternations. The find and replace, the find and replace, in the form of find and replace, the changing the keywords and phrases but retain the essential content of the source. In remix, the paraphrasing multiple sources which are so arranged that complement each other. Fifth one is a hybrid. In this form, the combined perfectly cite sources with the copied without citation. In error 404, we all know that this information is not available, or say we can say that this information is incorrect. Now clone. Clone is a submitting someone else work which is a just transcribed as a own work. In recycle, in this form, the borrowed from generous form that the writer's previous work without citation. Now in the mashup, in this form, the work is in this article already published someone and not cited. In retweet, the blending the read it include the proper citations of sources, but with the too much text used from the original text. Here showing that the various website and the program available to check for the plagiarism, the cross check, the word copy find, safe assign, or eatable assets, Viper, www.google.com, the inhandicate.com, and the turnitin.com. And other tools of the plagiarism checker is the dupli checker, the copy checker, preparator, the plagiarism checker, the plague scan, the plague tracker, and the QText. And how to avoid plagiarism. Plagiarism is a whispered event that the developed countries and can be avoided by the being honest while writing anything. The some of ways to do the by being original, taking time to write articles, writing in your own words, acknowledging all the stupid articles, probably the references and the appearance to the author of or general guidelines. Avoid copy paste type of the writing, and always write in the cover letter to editor for similarities with her article in literature. Okay, and now at the end we conclude that the plagiarism is a common but avoidable practice to prevent in the world. It affect from the students, so senior teacher and the form develop the countries. The strict appearance to the general guidelines and being honest can help to reduce the burden on the scientific society. Here is my citation, and thank you. Stop sharing.
Is anybody left from here? You are out of stream. StreamYard is not working. Camera, if need be, to make it proper.
My screen is visible, sir.
Yes, you can start.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I am ADITI and today I am going to present on research methodology. And today's my topic is what is research and type of research. This is my table of content. And first of all, we can know about what is research. And research in research, re means again, and search means find. Again, we can find something new and interesting in this topic, in that topic. And research is the systematic process of collecting and analyzing information to increase our understanding of the world in general and of the phenomenon under study in particular. And a systematic process of inquiry is a research. Research concerns with two words, what and how, and focused on the uncovering new knowledge to help understand phenomena, answer questions, or address problems. And research is a literary process that eventually seeks to explain or solve an identified problem. And next we can see about the characteristics of research. First we can see about analytical. Research utilized proven analytical produce in gathering data, whether historical, descriptive, experimental, and case study. Second is empirical. Empirical research is based on direct experience or observation by the researcher. And third is logical. Research is based on valid producer and principles. And fourth is cyclical. Research start with a problem and ends with a problem. And critical is research exhibit careful or precise judgment. And methodical research is concluded in a methodical manner without base, using systematic method. And publicability. Research design and producers are repeated to enable the research to arrive at valid and
conclusive result. Next, we can see about types of research. And research has three main types: applications of the finding of research study, objective of the study, mode of the inquiry used in conducting study. And these are the types of research. And here we can see about the types of application perspective research. And in these two parts are included. First is pure research and second is applied research. Pure research is also concerned with the development, examination, verification and refinement of the research methods, producers, techniques and tools that form the body of research methodology. And applied research is in the social science. And in other words, the research techniques, producers and methods that from the body of the research methodology are applied to the collection of information about various aspects of situation, issue, problems or phenomena. And the types of objective perspective research, in that four parts are divided: descriptive research, correctional research, explanatory research and exploratory research. And a research study classified as a descriptive study attempt to describe systematically a situation, problem, phenomenon, service of program, or provides information about, say, the living condition of a community or describes attitude towards an issue. And correctional research, the main emphasis is correctional study is to discover or establish the existence of a relationship, association, interdependence between two or more aspects of a situation. And explanatory research attempts to clarify why and how there is a relationship between two aspects of a situation or phenomenon. And exploratory research, this is when a study is undertaken with the objective either to explore an area where little is known, or the investigate the possibilities of undertaking a particular research study. And the third part of research is mode of inquiry perspective. Quantitative research, quantitative research is and qualitative research. And quantitative research is a research dealing with the phenomena that are difficult or impossible to qualifying mathematically, such as belief, meanings, attributes and symbols. Qualitative research aim to gather an in-depth understanding of human behavior and the reason that govern such behavior. And qualitative research is generally made using scientific methods, and it's included in the generators of generation of models, theories and hypotheses, and the development of instruments and the methods of measurement, experimental control and manipulation of variables, collection of empirical data, modeling and analyzing of data, and evaluation of results. This is based on words, feelings, emotions, sounds, and non-numerical and unqualifiable elements. And these are my references. And thank you. And at the conclude, I would like to share my experience with research. At the last 3 semester, we all are written blog assignments and making presentations, but we are not knowing about very well sites and every articles. And then but now we all are know about the research, because we all are written one research paper, and also we are working on our dissertation. And in our dissertation we are working on introduction and literature review chapter. We have done the research. And in third and fourth chapter we all are doing our own research. So I have learned so many things from that. And thank you everyone.
Yes, so that's good. So we have ended in our due time of all the presentations. Now, whatever you have learned, everybody, we will see that in your dissertation how you are implementing everything. Yeah? So maybe in first, second, third semester, many of you might not be able to implement things, but we hope that in dissertation, all these ideas will be implemented. So I think on 9th we have the presentation on dissertation. So at that time we will ask that whether your research is analytical, what type of research is it, what problems you faced in working out or solving the problems that came while working on this. And in your answer, you have to use the vocabulary of research, what you have studied here. That vocabulary, that language you have to use when you give an answer. Then it is appropriate. Okay, so wish you all the best for tomorrow. As presentation, tomorrow is the last day, and we will have it on comparative studies and translation studies tomorrow.